handsome.
Hey, beautiful.
What's up, Buttercup?
Not much. It's Halloween day. We're just chilling out before we go get our last minute costume.
Look at me being a bad bitch in the bad bitch chair. Just kidding.
She's got the cool chair on right now. Hiccup, can you leave me alone?
She's very needy.
How'd you just know we were gonna do stuff? How'd you just know?
She's being very needy. The baby's asleep, but she's about to wake up from her nap soon, so we gotta be snappy with this one today.
Yeah. Okay, so
we're doing something a little different today. So we're reading on the Ask Reddit, Am I the Asshole? Because we always talk about these already, and this is actually something we wanted to do a podcast on before, but we wanted to do it in this one because we always relate it back to our lives. Right?
Yeah, we always just kind of like read these and like we kind of always give our own little take on what's going on in someone else's life.
Yeah. And kind of like include like what was going on in our lives during that time, or like if it's something that's relevant to our lives.
Yeah.
So if we do more of these, it will be all things that revert back to our lives that we can give examples to.
Sure.
Not just random ones with our opinions. All right. So, am I the asshole? He's going to read it because he's better at reading out loud.
I guess I'm better at reading. I don't know. Sorry, quick drinky drink. All right. Am I the asshole for telling my friend it's her fault for getting married and having kids late because the world won't wait on her now? So we always ignore the comments first, but because like I like to like kind of base my opinion first off of just like reading the post and then getting into the comments afterwards and maybe like challenge how I feel about it. But I'm 39 female, have a 6-person girl group since college, 37 to 39 female, and that includes Mary, 38 female. We've been close throughout the years and have been at milestone events for each other. Mary just had a baby and is completely fitting the crazy new mother stereotype. In college, Mary has always been someone who had to make it known that she was unique and different from the rest of us, which wasn't as draining then as it has become now. For starters, all other women in our circle got married between the ages of 22 and 27, and we all have multiple kids. So for the 5 of us, we're able to experience those milestones alongside one another and got closer as we shared similar lifestyles. Mary was very adamant on not settling until her 30s because she wanted to travel and have different experiences, which we all supported. Regardless, she would continue to make comments about how she's so lucky, unlike us, because we're tied down with husbands and babies. I think this is where she grew resentment towards us because we were in different places in life, and she was upset we couldn't have our group be similar to how it was in college. Then, into our mid-30s, it became a whole saga of she's getting older and can't find a husband because all the good men are married or divorced with kids. When she finally got married, many could not attend because it was a destination event and child-free during COVID. This caused a fight between she said how she was there for us during our weddings, but we couldn't put aside a week for her. We had all told her how we wished we could, but it simply was not financially feasible and didn't logistically work out with our kids. But she just refused to hear us out and was simply so inconsiderate about our lives and families, saying we were horrible friends. Now, Mary just gave birth to her first child, and I was very excited for her. The only issue is that she moved from our state to a very remote place that's only accessible by a 6-hour car ride. Her baby is 6 months old now, and none of us have been able to go up to visit her. I think she's been having the wrong idea of what a village is and has essentially demanded in our group chat that we come up for the holidays and help her out because she's having a hard time adjusting to mom life. But this would entail we all take a week off, arrange childcare, figure out transportation, and book hotels during the holidays. It's gotten to the point where she's posting cryptic messages on Facebook bashing fake friends who won't be there for her. As much as I wish I could, I cannot physically support her in any way she needs me to do in this stage of life. It would have been completely different if she still lived in our city, and this was earlier in life when we had less commitments or priorities. So I told her this, and this is if she was hoping for the big village and constant support. She should have thought about that when planning out her life because we can't all just pause our lives for her. So, am I the asshole?
All right, so you do your take before you read any of the comments and before I told you what my take was.
Yeah, so initially, like, when I kind of read that, I was kind of like, well, I kind of get this sentiment in the sense from the ops perspective or original poster's perspective, because we all know that person who was like, or at least if you're a sociable person, right? We all had that person in the friend group who was always like, I'm never going to get married. I'm not having kids, or like, I'm not getting married until my 30s or something like that, right? And, I'm not having kids. I'm waiting to have kids. And everyone else kind of just lives life as they do. And then you know, and like slowly but surely, right, like we all kind of end up having like more and more responsibilities and commitments, right? Because it's like you have the kids, you know, you have a husband, right? You have stuff that you have to do. You have to go to work to your 9 to 5 every day. You're not single anymore. You can't just drop everything and do whatever you want all the time, right? So I got that perspective, and I also kind of got the sentiment of like, well, I kind of get feeling that resentment towards somebody who chooses to not get married or who doesn't find anybody and chooses to not have kids until later, because like, especially if they're like the kind of person that like rubs it in your face all the time. They're like, oh, you guys are all like chained down, all ball and chain or whatever. Like that person's always been kind of annoying to me, because they kind of like put it in your face or whatever. So like I was partially on Op's side as far as like the sentiment goes.
I, however, as the mom, was not at all, because for one, even though she didn't have kids or anything or a husband, but she was there for all their milestones. She was there to support them. She was, I don't know about the babies, but I assume because she said that she was there for all their weddings and stuff. So yeah. I assume that she was there for when they all had kids and stuff too, and probably helped out and probably did drop her whatever she was doing to help them, because she didn't have probably a ton to drop, but still she still put her life on pause for a minute to help her friends out. So for me, I feel like it's not fair that the original poster is not agreeing to like go help her out. They missed her wedding. That's like I say this a once in a lifetime thing, even though some people do get married more than once, but in the grand scheme of things, most of the time it's a one-time thing, getting married, and so that's a big deal. That's a big, yeah. And then having a baby is a big deal, and
it is. Yeah.
Just thinking about when we had a baby, we lived in Virginia, which everybody else lived way far away from us.
More than halfway across the country.
Yes.
Yep. And
if not all the way across the country from us.
Yeah, and we still had really critical family members come and fly out on their dime, yeah, and saw us and helped us for a week or more at the time, you know, yeah, with the baby, just so that like we could sleep, that we could get a little break, you know.
Help
like,
clean up our house.
Oh my God, it was a bombshell, yeah. So...
Because literally we were just eating, taking care of the baby, and going to bed. Because
right,
we were so exhausted.
Right.
It was just us.
Right. So...
From that perspective, like... She's asking for a 6-hour drive. I get that.
Oh,
like, I mean,
yeah.
I know it's long, but...
Well, and that's the thing. So, like, I read the post, and I was like, oh, I get where she's coming from as far as, like, you know, being annoyed with her friend or whatever. But, like, then I just started, like, reading the comments real quick, and I was immediately like, oh... No, I'm totally wrong. I was like, and then when you talked to me about it, I was like, yeah, no, I'm just wrong.
I still have not read any of the comments.
Right.
So I don't know what any of them say.
Sure, but like, they basically said what you said, where it's just like, it's like, if this person was here for you the whole time, right, and like what you said earlier when we first talked about it, is it's like, you can't judge somebody based off of their life mile goals.
Yeah.
And like, at what point,
everybody has different milestones. And
yeah.
Everybody falls in love at different times. Everybody decides to have babies at different times.
Yeah.
Some of us, it's all around the same time, and some of us, it's not until our 30s, because we know family and friends that we're like 98% sure will not get married until they're almost 30.
Yeah.
Both of our siblings probably.
Probably, yeah.
Around 25, 30. And probably won't have kids until 30s if they have kids.
Yeah.
So, which is way different from us.
Well, right, and there's no judgment as far as our goes, but it's just like, but again, it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, just because someone lives a different lifestyle than you doesn't mean you get to like blame them for that, I guess.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I kind of just vibe with is like how difficult it can be
100%
having a family and having to drop everything. But again, like, if you're gonna call this person your friend, this person was your friend forever, right? And she dropped everything for you, you know, in her life to go and support you when you were getting married, when you were having kids and stuff like that. It just feels like you should move rivers or oceans to try to at least make the effort for like a week, right?
At the very least a week, or even 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
People don't realize this, but even just 2 or 3 days after having a baby,
yeah,
even if the baby's only 6 months old, it helps so much.
Yeah.
Like, to just have that person come out and help you. Especially if you have been a mom. Like, just being like, not unless they ask for advice. But you could always suggest things or be like, hey, this helped me, or even just help out and not suggest anything. Just like show
just
them
go
your
with the
way.
flow.
You go with the flow.
Yeah.
Because sometimes as a new mom, that's what you need.
Right. So that's where like I've landed on is like I don't really support the original poster now hardly at all. I get the feeling, but it's just like if this person dropped everything and you're gonna call yourself their friend, then like ask your husband to use some vacation time to take care of the kids, or like find grandma or grandpa, like find somebody to babysit the kids and make the trip. I don't know. Take time off. It just seems like there's only so many times you get to do this in life, It's not every year. It's not,
And it's not going to be your whole life.
It's not your whole life. It's
and
this
is a very small part of your life, to be honest, in the grand scheme of
things. Yeah, like a small part of your life to support a friend in their time of need, right? It's just like, it means the world to them, but, for you, it's just like a little bump in the road. It was like, well, I gotta just lie to work and say I'm not working for that. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, you could come up with like a million reasons why you literally couldn't. Like, maybe your job really sucks that bad and you can't take time off. Yeah. Or maybe, like, your kid just got sick or they have some kind of thing going on. Like, I get it. I'm just saying that it's like, try to make it work.
Yeah,
try. But, yeah.
Especially because they were there for you.
Yeah.
And just try and remember back on those days as you became a new mom.
Right.
Like, how hard it was.
Right. So, like, the first, like, I think this is the top comment, is, like, it's like, I have to ask, has she provided a lot of support to the group? Was she there for your wedding, which may have made difficult demands on her? Has she provided time and resources for the group's children over the years, such as babysitting and the like? And the person said, I asked because as the childless one in the friend group, I'm often expected to be ride or die, but when it comes to returns and the favors, sorry, bro, it's like just too hard with the kids. Comes up a lot. Sure, it comes up with the stories we're told I'd look like an entitled asshole. And then they said, P.S. I'm absolutely ride or die in general, but seriously, some people are ungrateful.
Agreed. I would agree. That's what it feels like right now. And because this is the second time reading the post, and the post, it did say that she attended all the weddings.
Yeah.
So I would just assume that she was supporting them as much, too.
Well, and, like, that's the thing, too, is it's, like, I think we talked about this one other time when we were, like, discussing a post, but it was, like, how accommodating should you be of your guests when you're doing your own wedding and your own, like, and having a child and stuff like that? And, like, maybe you should be a little more accommodating with your wedding as far as that goes, because it's, like, you can plan the date and stuff like that. But, like, when you have a kid, that's all kind of up in the air.
No, 100%.
There's no planning around it. I mean, beyond, like, some certain steps, right? But it's, like, you don't really know what the due date is. You don't really know how the pregnancy's going to go. You don't really know what your first few weeks and months of having the child is going to be like, whether you're in and out of the hospital all the time, whether it's super easy and relaxed, or, you're fucking pulling your hair out.
It wasn't, it was rough for us because as new parents, mainly because we were so sleep deprived. But we also had to take Emerson to the doctors a couple more times than most parents do, because she did lose a lot of weight.
Right.
She lost more than that 10%.
Yep.
And so we were going, like, every other day.
Yeah.
Except on the weekends. And we went that following Monday. And it was like that for almost 2 weeks.
Yep. And then, like, on top of that, and, like, this is our responsibility, it was our fault, but, like, we lived in Virginia at the time, and we didn't have a support system. So that was all on us. And that's not anyone else's fault.
No, and we're not blaming anybody.
No, there's no blame for that.
All on us.
But that's what made it hard.
Yeah.
Is it's like we moved to Virginia for a bunch of reasons, and it was just like, so that was all on us to handle that problem, right? Because, like, a lot of people, they have family near them. They have friends near them that can support them. So, but yeah, and then, like...
Well, and then so, this is something I was talking to you about earlier. It just, when you've been friends that long, it's almost like that's your second family. So
yeah,
it's even more than just a friendship. So, that's why I'm like, I feel like this just feels a little bit more hurtful. Because it's almost like family doing that to you.
This is bring on the downvotes, and, like, the second most upvoted person that says, but you're the asshole. You should have thought of that a long time ago. It's such a sick move. Like, what is... She's supposed to get a time machine? This shows a ton of resentment for her different life.
Agreed.
This post is one-sided and demonized this lady to such a massive extent that I struggle to believe that it, or at least many of the details of it, are true. Every choice your friend makes goes wrong in a way you show some schadenfreude about it in your writing style. My friend delayed getting married and then bitched about all the guys being married. Really? Yeah, your friend sounds like an asshole, so do you. You obviously went down different life paths and resent each other for it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah,
it does feel like that.
Well, and that's like the thing.
And I feel like maybe the original poster resents her because she didn't get that freedom that she did.
Yeah, and like, and we've even talked about that too. Like, sometimes we see like social media posts of our friends and family doing stuff, and we're like, we wish we could do that. But like, we get so much out of being parents and our own lifestyle.
We felt like that's when it was. I felt like it was taking us a while to get pregnant with Emerson.
Yeah,
we were like kind of. Especially me, I was like getting sad because I felt like I saw everybody pregnant.
Yeah, you can have the same experience on the other side of the fence, right? Yeah, it's like everyone else is getting pregnant and having families. You want that, and we can't have that, right? You know, because it took us a while, and so it's just like, I agree. And so yeah,
personally, I feel way more satisfied with our life right now than, and yeah, sometimes I'm like, I wish we could travel a little bit more, but realistically, we've traveled a lot over the last couple years. Maybe not to all the places we want to be, but I feel fulfilled with our lives right now. Yes, I would like to go to Hawaii or like take our honeymoon that we still haven't taken. Mm-hmm. But I know that will come too with time, and I know you feel probably that same way too. Would you agree, babe?
Yeah, I agree. This person says ish, and so let's just ignore the destination wedding, because I agree, it's probably like not very relevant. Your comment about her life choices was out of line and rude. How does she line up her life with yours exactly? How does she plan to have kids when you did? If she can't find a partner to connect with in that time period, that's a real asshole thing to bring up.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what we were talking about earlier. Some people just are kind of all over the place and testing the waters.
But it's almost not even from a lack of trying, though. You could have been trying the whole time, and it's just you didn't find Mr. or Mrs. Right. You know?
Exactly. And if you're going to settle down, you want to settle down with someone that you want to spend your whole life with, not just because all your friends are getting married.
Yeah, what a terrible thing to do is I'm going to settle with some guy or gal because all my friends are getting married, and then get divorced like 10 years later.
Yeah,
right? Like,
that's so sad, especially if they end up having kids.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, no, I feel like that's generally we felt this post out pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just like it's just crazy. I don't know, but that one like evoked a lot of emotion out of me because I was just like, I get it, but I don't.
I feel like we really thought about it more. To be honest.
Agreed.
I think we both felt very passionate about that post because we can put ourselves in their shoes.
Oh yeah, because we've gone through basically that scenario. Yeah.
But a good example is like I wasn't sure if I was going to make it to my little sister's wedding because my due date was June 6th and her wedding was August 13th, and I would have not been very far postpartum, and I would have barely been past 6 weeks. I would have been like 7 weeks postpartum, and I was like, I'm not traveling at 7 weeks postpartum. But our baby came 3 weeks early, so we ended up going. Me and Emerson ended up going to her wedding.
You did go.
But also, Charlie understood that I was very, very freshly postpartum if I was not going to make it. And she was upset about it, but now that she's getting older, she would have understood why I would not have been able to come. And then she also had friends that had babies around the same time. And she's like, oh, I totally get it if you would have not come. So
it's almost like as if, like, not to say you have to live it, but, like, you have to have somebody close or, like...
Yeah.
To see it, to like kind of understand it more, and like, and that's that's like so much of life anymore. Is it's like so many people feel so justified to like judge somebody a certain kind of way, right? And then it's like, and then they experience it themselves,
and
or
then
like,
they're like, oh shoot, it's like reality hits, and then they go back and apologize.
Exactly.
So
or they should. Yeah.
So that's another way I felt the post is because I get it from the point of not being able to attend someone's wedding, like. Because I did attend it, so it's...
See, the only thing that, like, sorry, not, like, to, like, but, like, tangentially, like, related, is, like, I feel like having a destination wedding, on the one hand, is, like, you can want that and have that or whatever, but I think destination weddings now are almost to the point where it's, like, if somebody says they really can't go to a destination wedding, I think you just kind of have to accept that.
Oh, I agree.
Because, like, the cost of, like, not only leaving your job for that amount of time, finding a hotel and airline tickets and stuff.
Yeah.
Like right now.
Right now, yeah.
It's just like, hopefully
For
it's within the
us-
country. But
For us, with everything we were doing, everything was destination for us, even if all of our friends and family, because we had to fly in. But that was on us.
Yeah.
That's not
oh,
on
with the
them.
Virginia stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was completely... No, that's... Yeah, you
So-
can't... We were not upset by any
But
of
when
that,
I
yeah.
did my baby shower, I did it all in Colorado so that I would have everybody come, because mainly most of our family and friends live in Colorado.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
sometimes, even though I was like, I feel like I shouldn't have to do that, I did it not because I felt like I had to, but because I wanted everybody to attend. Or as
Yeah.
much people to
But see,
attend.
you took that on yourself. You weren't
Yes.
blaming everyone else.
Nope.
And that's the thing. It's just like everyone... Oh, God, nobody wants to take responsibility, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, we chose to live in Virginia, right? We made that decision together. So it's just like, it's on us to figure it out around that and work around it, right? And it's just like, I'm sure plenty of people would have came out to... Sorry. I'm sure plenty of people would have came out to
Oh, yeah.
fly out, but it wouldn't have been everyone.
Yeah.
And we would have had to...
not been as many people. And
Yeah.
I would have felt a little sad because I was like, I knew more people could come if I did it in Colorado.
Yeah.
So I planned around that, and I have a really great friend in Colorado, and she hosted it, and she loved having me there, and it was just amazing. The only thing that sucked is you weren't able to be there because during that time you weren't even supposed to be back from where you were at, and so you weren't even going to be there. But then life things happened and you weren't able to come.
Yeah. It was like another one of those, you're going to get fired if you don't keep working kind
Yeah.
of things. And it's just like, okay, well.
And we needed the money, the income, so
Yeah.
he stayed.
Yeah.
But
Fuck you, Amazon.
Yeah.
You're so stupid.
I've that's the one thing that I'm really happy with your job right now, is because when we get pregnant with our second baby, you won't have to miss any of the milestones.
No, I
And
won't miss anything. It'll be great.
with the COVID restrictions being lifted, you'll be able to come to all my appointments.
Yeah.
He literally was only able to come to our very last one, which I enjoyed him having there, but it would have been so much more of a better experience if he was able to be there, especially for the first ultrasound, to see the baby and like really know that's like, oh, there's a baby in there, and hear the heartbeat for the first time.
Right.
He heard the heartbeat for the first time with the little Doppler that
Yeah, we had to buy our
Our-
own and take it home. Yeah.
I can't remember if your mom
Or, I'm sorry, maybe if my mom bought it for
if my
us,
mom
then
or
sure.
Christina did. I don't
Oh,
remember.
okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, whoever bought it for us was a big thank you. But yeah, that was
Yeah.
the first time I heard it, so.
That was
Yeah.
kind of a tangent, but
No, it's related, yeah. I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like, knowing the difference between what a burden is on, like, others versus, like, what is just other people not committing to the relationship you have is, like, I think is pretty important.
yeah. It feels like this relationship's a little one-sided right now.
Well, and that's like the thing, though, is it's like, we don't know all the specifics
exactly.
of this lady's life, right? So
Exactly.
it's just like, like I was saying earlier, it's like, you can have like a million different reasons why you can't go to
Yeah.
something, right? That are all completely valid, right?
Yeah.
It's just, if she was there for you, okay, maybe you
should
couldn't
try
you
really
should-
hard to be there. for her
maybe
then.
you're not there for a big event, but you put in the effort to go out and do something with her for, like, maybe just to be there to support her, right?
Yeah.
It's just...
Even if, like I said, it's only like 2 or 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's super short, but
it would mean more than never going.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Well, I think that does it.
Yeah, we're going to wrap that up today because we have to just keep it a little short because our baby's going to wake up soon from a nap. But hopefully you enjoyed our little conversation, and thank you so much for coming. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and share with all your family and friends.
Thank you.
Thank you.